Welcome, the winds of change, to Geek Salad's review of episode 6 of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
One world, one people.
I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
And we're from the Geek Salad podcast. And guess what, folks? We have made it through all 6 episodes of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier on Disney+.
Yes.
This has been monumental. I mentioned this last week, and I actually was speaking to somebody at work about this. It was yesterday. Disney has this uncanny knack of putting something out that was filmed a year ago or a year and a half ago, and it manages to be right on the pulse of what's going on in the world right now.
Yeah.
They did it with Zootopia, which was crazy. An animated movie could be that prescient.
Oh, yeah.
And to do it again with this series, essentially using a Marvel series that action-packed, tons of intrigue, tons of superhero stuff, and can still pack a very pertinent and important social message.
Very much so.
I was blown away by how well this episode was handled.
Not my favorite episode of the season.
No.
But I thought it was a very fitting ending, and what they did with Sam was absolutely brilliant. And what he did in this episode was, I think, the best acting he's done in the season. Series.
I agree. I can fully agree with that. You can see that this is a guy who has literally been putting up with this nonsense, this social and systemic nonsense for long enough. And now he has a voice. And it all came out. The second he was able to put on the red, white, and blue, he was able to have a voice and tell the people who were, who make decisions, this is what it is. And you need to change that. And you need to start looking at it from one point of view. You need that one world, that one world, one people vision. Your dog agrees. I thought it was very well acted. I thought that the Captain America suit reveal was fantastic. I really enjoyed that too.
Yeah. The only downside I have to that is like in that final bit where he's doing a speech, I was just noticing he wasn't really turning his head. I'm like, that suit's probably pretty hard for him to turn his head in.
It's kind of fun. We're used to seeing him in vests.
Yeah.
Vests with gauntlets. And now he's got this full body suit, which I thought the suit, comics accurate, looks fantastic. I have the dumbest nitpick about it. It is so stupid. I feel like the white, especially around the chest, looks like fondant. It literally looks like cake topping. And I've expressed my opinions about fondant. It's like the toothpaste of baking. And
that means Anthony Mackie is so sweet.
Oh, I'm sure he is. But yeah, no, it's like that is, and that's it. That's my only it's not like on a scale of the amazing suits that they've made versus Cap's Avengers suit. He's closer to the good stuff. I can go for some cake.
Yeah, I mean, my only nitpick is it looked like he didn't have a whole lot of motion in his neck. I think for the Captain America movie, which is coming, they have announced it. I hope that they managed to redesign that so he has a little bit more motion in that.
Right. It was fun. You know what? There was some great stuff though with that episode, especially when he's chasing after the guy in the helicopter.
Yeah,
and they drop all the pipes on him, and then he emerges from the water like, oh, you just earned this ass whooping.
I love how they had the light that you could see his engine underwater. Then very cool effect.
I like that. I also love the fact that Red Wing is still part of the suit.
Oh yeah, oh man, he got Red Wing back.
Now he got Red Wing. He's got 2 thrusters on there too.
Yeah,
That was really cool.
and those are strong thrusters. I mean, you can definitely tell that's Wakanda technology right there.
It is, yeah, Wakandan built tough.
Yeah.
Well, there's also that scene too where he's fighting with Carly,
Mm.
and like he has to use the wings to dig into the concrete so she doesn't knock him back.
Right. Well, I love it how you because you phrase that how when he's fighting with Carly,
Yeah,
he doesn't fight. I love that. I love the fact that in that scene, all of his moves are purely defensive.
right. Yeah, I will not fight. I'm not going to fight you.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was really amazing. I love the stuff. I mean, Bucky was completely serviceable in this episode, but it was like
this wasn't Bucky's
like,
episode.
Get him to the end of this. Just get him to the end of this season. Just get him to the end of the series.
I mean, this episode really finished Bucky's arc very well, very effectively, and it put him exactly where he needed to be. But this episode was not Bucky's episode.
No, this was definitely Sam's episode. This was Sam's moment to shine.
In fact, this entire series was mainly Sam. I mean, yeah, Bucky is the supporting character, but this was Sam's show.
And the Winter Soldier, exactly. Yeah. And Robin.
Yeah.
It was funny though, because I remember like we were having this discussion earlier in the week, and Jonna was like, oh, he's so happy. He's so pleased with himself about that cake. I'm like, yeah, that's store-bought cake.
But I mean, honestly, I mean, for one, that final scene, that it felt like they were just kind of filming their cast party.
Yeah, it did. It definitely felt like it was definitely like that. Now I was trying to figure out, because usually my phone is really good about telling me what song is playing, and God help me, I couldn't figure it out, and it might mean I just need to listen to the Trouble Man soundtrack, because I really want to say it might have been from there.
I mean, that would make sense.
I agree. I think it would make sense, whether or not it's there, because it's such a tie-in with Steve.
Yeah. But also, like, you know, in what I was saying with it kind of tying up Bucky's arc, is that this was the first time you really saw Bucky smiling and having fun. You could tell that he had lost that weight on him. Yeah. It was the first time he really felt free of what had been haunting him.
Exactly. And, you know, even talking to the old man afterwards, and, you know, it seemed like he was ready to begin his life again. Now he's going to be wandering the earth like Kane from Kung Fu.
Patience, Grasshopper.
But then there's John Walker. I was convinced, because when he's trying to stop that truck from going over, and he sees Carly running, I looked at my daughter and I went, okay, he's got 2 decisions right now. Which is the right decision? Does he chase her, or does he save the van? And he actually made, to his credit, and I think this was really, it would have been really tempting and kind of bad writing if he was like, screw it, I gotta go get her. I gotta go avenge Lamar.
What was great about that bit, though, is that it showed that he is not beyond redemption. Like, yeah, he's made a lot of problems, but in the end, he's still, in his heart, he wants to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And in that moment, he knows revenge versus saving people is the right thing to do. And so I really like that kind of chain.
I do like that. And it's kind of interesting what they do with US Agent going forward.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like where they might take him is that he is going to be working under the essentially under the assumption that he is just going to be a covert, blunt instrument for the U.S. government. But he's working for Hydra. Because he is working with Val. Val is the one who got him set up. Val is essentially going to be his benefactor at this point.
Right. We right now we don't know if, because like she's had a lot of different titles in the comics, so we don't know if she's actually using the Madam Hydra role.
Right.
But I mean, right now it does seem pretty. Unless they really throw a swerve, it seems like they're really setting up the Thunderbolts.
I agree. I think they are setting up the Thunderbolts, but I'm going to throw a little wrinkle in there though, because we haven't heard from Hydra in a while. So
No.
at some point, when maybe when we're introduced to her in Black Widow, she might actually said you cut one head off, another one, two grow back in its place, and that's kind of where they leave that at. Now, I think it would be really interesting because I think especially for this side of stories, the Captain America end of stories, like just the soldiers fighting Hydra, bringing Hydra back in as a predominant villain. I think it's a great idea. I really think that would be really nice. And if the Thunderbolts are essentially a Hydra-based group, even if they're under the suspicion they're doing right, or they're just doing what needs to be done.
I mean, I'm actually going to kind of disagree with you a little bit. I mean, if they bring back Hydra, I wouldn't be surprised. But
yeah,
there are a lot of villainous groups in Marvel history, and they've already used Hydra, and they've used them well. But I wouldn't mind seeing them take a back burner in favor of someone like AIM or
we haven't seen much of AIM. We saw it a little bit alluded to in Iron Man 3.
Right.
And now we've got the 10 rings as well, which I doubt this is going to tie into the 10 rings.
Probably not.
Yeah. Well, the other thing with AIM too is that AIM is going to be essentially all eyes are going to be on AIM next month when MODOK shows up.
I'm really excited for that show. Actually,
I can't wait for MODOK. Oh my god!
When was
trailers are amazing.
Oh, wait! You just said I can't wait for MODOK. Did you ever think in your life that you would ever say that sentence?
Again, it's because Marvel doesn't fucking do this. And I'm just gonna get off on a tangent for a second here, because last week I started watching Doom Patrol, and it's like I'm watching this, and it's like you know what? I know Warner and DC can tell good stories with people that aren't the top 5.
Harley Quinn.
They can. Oh, Harley Quinn, exactly. They can do that. But why? Why is this nonsense investment in constantly like, oh, you haven't done Superman right again? It's like, how are you not getting Superman right? You freaking got the robot dude from Doom Patrol right. And by the way, Brendan Fraser at this point looks like melted ice cream at this point. It's sad.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, they got Alan Tudyk for that show too.
They do have Alan Tudyk. Well, Alan Tudyk just makes everything better. He's like
him.
Paul Rudd.
He's so good.
But yeah, I think that with Falcon and Winter Soldier, there are so many different routes you can go right now. And that brings us to Sharon. Sharon was revealed as a power broker, which, okay, fine.
I mean, I get it. I'm just, I was kind of hoping that they wouldn't.
Well, here's something somebody brought up though. Who is she talking to on the phone? When she receives her pardon, and she says now she's got access to all this tech, the government tech, i.e. Armor Wars. Who was she talking to?
I mean, I've also heard. I don't know how much faith I put in this one, but I've also heard that what if she's not actually Sharon Carter, but a tie-in to Secret Invasion? Because that is coming too.
I've heard that. Tom and Alex on Movies After Work had theorized that perhaps she is working deep undercover to root out. Yeah, like she is essentially joining. I think they mentioned it as Hydra. She's going so deep undercover to root out like the person on the other end of that phone, because the other end of the phone is apparently so important. Not going to see his face, his or her face. Could be Val. Whole thing could tie together.
I I get the feeling that if it was Val, they might have shown it. They might have shown the connection.
Well, they also want you questioning this in case there's a second season, which I don't think
Yeah.
there is. Now that there's a movie coming out, I don't think there'll be a second season.
No, I don't think they need one.
But I think that, all in all, this was a satisfying. It's just like WandaVision. It was a very satisfying ending. Where
the scene, I'm not gonna lie, the scene where he was talking with Isaiah, and then he brought him to the monument.
Man,
I actually got legit choked up at that scene.
Yeah, no, that was real. That was just it was really good. And again, they're acknowledging the injustices of people that had to go through this, which is, this is our comic book fantasy movie world that we're dealing with here, that is handling things better than we handle them in real life. I thought that was fantastic. I thought that was a really well-crafted scene.
Mm-hmm.
It just brought the beauty of the emotions in this show is that they're earned.
Yeah.
There's not one unearned piece of just emotional manipulation in there.
I also like the fact that they gave more lines to the kid playing Eli, and hopefully Young Avengers is coming.
Yeah,
I love the Young Avengers series.
Yeah, I find that funny because I gave my daughter all of my Toy Fair Theater books, and there's a thing in there, and it reminded me when Isaiah was like, "Hey, you the Black Falcon?" It's like, "No, I'm just Falcon. What do I call you, Black Kid?" Where like in Toy Fair Theater, they're like, Avengers roll call. It's like Black Goliath, Black Panther, Black Falcon. No, I'm just Falcon. Yeah, that's not what it says on your Avengers membership card. No, it's supposed to say, "Oh, son of a bitch." They also do a thing too on that where he's like, "Hey, let me tell you my secret origin," and the thing's just like, "Oh, let me guess," and it's like this egg, and he just pops out going, "Ta-da! That's better than my origin." Oh, you're not a DC character. I'll never know. And it's like these are like these jokes that Toy Fair Theater pokes at him, and now it's like, dude, he's Captain America.
Yeah,
he's like, he's hit that top echelon right now.
He is in the top tier. And how awesome is that?
I think it's fantastic. I really think it's fantastic. And I had a great time watching this show. I will eventually go back and watch this whole series again. Yeah. Now that I can, now the suspense is over, I can kind of binge it a little more.
Mm.
So I'm very, very much looking forward to that. And then we have Loki to look forward to in about a month and a half.
Yeah, it's July, right?
I thought it was June.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Either Loki's June or Black Widow is June. I can never remember which one is which.
Loki is June, Black Widow is July.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and then so the next original Disney Plus series that us nerds are going to really get excited for is The Bad Batch, which comes out next week.
Right. Well, I mean the next Marvel series.
Yeah.
After Loki is What If. I'm really looking forward to that one.
Well, you know how much of a What If fan I am in the first place, so that's going to be. I'm excited about that. Again, they got the original voices. Haley Atwell is coming back. So
and Chadwick Boseman as well.
Yes, I know. Oh man,
that's going to be a hard one to watch, but it's going to be a really, really satisfying one.
I just can't wait. Also, because it's animated and it's got that great cell shaded animation style. I am so looking forward to that. But yeah, that was
and Jeffrey Wright as the Watcher.
I think that's fantastic casting. That's awesome casting.
Yeah.
So yeah. So anyway, that was The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I still think I liked WandaVision better solely because sometimes you're just in the mood for weird, and I really feel like it was something I wasn't expecting to love as much as I did. I knew I was going to like this show a lot, and I really solidly liked this show a lot. But WandaVision was just like, wait, what am I watching, and why is this so amazing? I can't take my eyes off of it.
Sometimes the unexpected surprise is the more welcome one.
Exactly. But this delivered a solid bill of goods. I really love the fact that Zemo was kind of back in our lives again, because y'all thought I was crazy when I ranked him as one of our the top MCU villains. You're all like, he didn't do anything, didn't he? Suave Euro trash.
I will just the overall series. There's just one thing that it's a little nitpick. I think Zemo looked fantastic in the mask. I don't know why he put it on.
There was no point in putting that on other than to like pop a nerd boner.
It's like, hey, I'm putting it on. I'm gonna kill a bunch of people and I'm taking it back off. But yeah, okay, cool.
You know what? It was enough to get you excited, but the beauty was it didn't revolve around anything with the story. It's just this one little moment.
Yeah.
You get that little bite of chocolate, that little like sensory, just yay. And then also, that's all you needed. They didn't need to make a story around it.
Also, how cool was that ending? It's like, they were locking away all the super soldiers.
Yeah.
And you got that one world with people. Oh yeah, they're gonna get out, and boom! No, they're not getting out.
That was great. The fact that Zemo's butler, who my mind still replaces that actor with the actor that played Harry's butler in the Raimi Spider-Man movies.
Oh, well, I mean, that's better, because my mind was kind of replacing it with Alfred from the Adam West Batman series.
It's funny what our minds do with this stuff.
Yeah.
So we want to know, what are your thoughts on the Falcon and the Winter Soldier? Leave a polite comment below. Don't forget, we do this all the time, so feel free to subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, and give us a like too. And if you like the bill of goods that we are selling here, you got to check us out. We host a little podcast called Geek Salad. You can get that wherever you get your podcasts: iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify. And as I've mentioned before, if you are listening to us on iTunes, apparently they are the only reviews that matter. So 5-star reviews, please. Keep up the good work. Keep up that momentum. If you want to follow us, if you want to know what our thoughts are, or primarily my thoughts, you can follow us on Geek Salad Radio at Twitter, and Geek Salad Podcast at Facebook. And if you want to support the show, tpublic.com, keyword Geek Salad Podcast to get our new swag. As Dose Number Dose goes in my arm this week, or next week rather, I will be laid up in bed, 2 for 2. And then I'll be laid up because I'm expecting I'm not going to be doing well with that second shot. I'm going to be laying there at the laptop, coming up with
fingers crossed,
designs. You know what? My mother said that she felt a little run down. We'll tell vaccine twinsies. That's awesome. I'm so psyched. I got to be checking in on them. How you doing, buddy? How you doing? The funny thing is my mother got a little tired, and she said that the big side effect was she was eating anything that wasn't already nailed down.
So what she's saying is
hungry. She gets super hungry.
She got the munchies.
She did. My dad, on the other hand, got ill for 3 days. So
yeah,
I guess we'll see who I take after come Thursday.
Yeah, one of my coworkers said he just had a sore arm. That was it.
Yeah.
But John has said she was laid up with 100 degrees fever.
Yep.
For most of the day. So,
folks, it is a small price to pay. Take the day off, relax, have some orange juice. I had chills. Yeah, that was just the first shot, Kurt.
So he had chills. Then we'll play him, and he's losing control.
Right, but Kurt actually had COVID too.
Oh.
So yeah, so
I'm glad he's getting feel better.
That's really interesting, because I remember hearing. I mean, again, I'm not sure because I'm not a scientist, so I can only go with what I hear. But I heard it's interesting. I heard the people that did have COVID weren't experiencing the side effects as badly because their body kind of already had an idea mapped out. But that is interesting. It really affects different people different ways. But again, do not let that be excuse for why you're not getting that second shot. Drink some orange juice. If you love Gatorade as much as I love Gatorade, take advantage of it, man. You are exactly.
I
I
love
even like the
Gatorade.
flavors that aren't even named after flavors, you know?
Glacial Breeze. Oh, yes, please. Yes, please.
So yeah, treat yourself. Just stay in bed. It's a jammies day, and if you get, if you do feel sick, stay in bed. Get better. But here's that beauteous thing though, is that soon, if people act right, Mike and I can hang out together again. Mike and I can eat food in front of each other again and go to movies again, do all those things. So I for one embrace if I get the chills like Kurt did, or I get sick, or like my dad did, or just get the munchies like my mom did. I am down, I am in, and I'm getting a day and a half off of work for it. So boom, I am in for that. So
Yep.
if you have not, this is my public service announcement real quick. If you are eligible for the vaccine, which all adults in the US are now, let me tell you a little secret, folks. Go through your local pharmacy's website and see if you can get the vaccine there, because Mike has to drive like an hour to get to his, because you went through mass vax, right?
Yeah.
Mike went through the state website. I went through CVS.
I tried going through CVS. I couldn't do it.
There was nothing available. Okay.
Yeah.
I literally 15 minutes from my house.
Actually, he goes to the place that's about 5 minutes from my house.
Yeah, irony. And it's across the street from where he used to work.
Yeah.
In the abandoned amusement park where the killer lurks.
Well, now it's a bunch of condos where the killer
lurks. The killer lurks. Oh man, I think I'm getting loopy. Okay, I think we need to wrap this up. So yes. Yeah. Check out, if you haven't checked out Falcon the Winter Soldier episode 6. I'm sorry we spoiled it for you, but go watch it anyway.
Certainly worthwhile.
Yeah. And we'll decide if we're going to do another one of these weekly TV recaps, maybe for the Bad Batch, maybe for MODOK. I actually wouldn't mind doing MODOK.
MODOK might be interesting.
MODOK might be fun. It's not going to get as in depth because it's only a half hour long, but
and it's going to be a lot more goofy.
Oh, it's Robot Chicken levels of goofy. I'm psyched. Yeah. I am psyched. Well, Kurt, thanks for watching. We appreciate you as always, man. Definitely this summer we're getting you on. We're talking about Unnecessary Sequels this summer for our summer movie series, which will be fun. I'm excited for that. So definitely got. He brought up Caddyshack too, which means I got to watch Caddyshack too.
I've never seen Caddyshack too.
Jackie Mason is playing the
I'm
Rodney Dangerfield
thing. And Dan Aykroyd plays the Bill Murray character.
Yep. I'm going all the way.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, until next time, I'm Andy.
And I'm Mike.
Go forth and be nerdful. Talk to you later.